Hello and welcome back to the FPL Time YouTube channel. In today's video we're going to be covering the ultimate game week 5 preview. This preview is going to have absolutely everything in it. We're going to talk about fixtures, we're going to talk about captaincy options, transfer targets, and at the end we'll go through my team as well. If you do enjoy the content that you see on the channel, please like, comment and subscribe, as I think we're only about 20 away from 500 now, so if we can hit that, amazing. Really good. But yeah, enough waffle, let's get on with today's video. And to start off with, I thought we would take a look at the kind of key fixtures and everything all good fixture related for game week 5. So as you can see on the left hand side of the screen, we do have the fixtures. We'll run through them quickly. Crystal Palace, Brentford, Fulham, Brighton, Southampton, Chelsea, Leeds, Everton, Arsenal, Aston Villa, Bournemouth, Wolves, Man City, Forest, West Ham, Spurs, Liverpool, Newcastle, and to finish up on the Thursday evening, Leicester versus Manchester United. Some really good fixtures in there. Some key ones for me that you should be looking to target: Leeds, Everton. Everton have been garbage, especially expected goals conceded as well. Really poor at the back. So I think it's time to bring in one of the Leeds kind of midfielders that everyone's been eyeing up for the past few weeks. This is the fixture to do it. Arsenal, Aston Villa, again, we should be looking to potentially even maybe captain one of our Arsenal options, just down to the fact that Villa have been really poor this season. Results aren't going Gerrard's way, and he could easily get sacked if, say, Villa get demolished against Arsenal. Spent a lot of money, and it's just not quite working out. Manchester City, Forest, after that performance against Nottingham Forest, I think that'll encourage City a lot. You know, they look quite good going forward, Forest, but left a lot of gaps, a lot of space within their defence, especially the second goal. Just really like schoolboy defending kind of stuff. Like Haaland's probably licking his lips looking at that one. Liverpool, Newcastle as well, another very interesting fixture. How will Liverpool kind of build on that 9-0 victory? Be very interesting to see against the Newcastle team who've started the season fairly okay, to be fair. Some key stats as well that I thought we'd run through very quickly. Brighton unbeaten in 10 games now, so that's stretching back to last season. They've been absolutely phenomenal since the start of this season and the back end of last season, so I definitely think it's worth getting a few of their assets within your team. Dunk, Pascal Gross. Like we mentioned with Villa, very poor, only one win in their last 8. No wins for Leicester as well, and they've conceded in every single game. So very good if you have a Manchester United asset. I'd say definitely hold on if you do. Southampton, Leicester and Aston Villa have all failed to keep clean sheets this season. So that's very good if you have potentially a Chelsea attacker or a United attacker, especially for our Arsenal attackers as well. And then Bournemouth, Fulham and Everton all have the worst XG conceded. Very surprised that Fulham in there, but hey ho. Yeah, that was pretty much it. They're the kind of game week 5 fixtures that I believe you should be targeting. Some key stats as well to go along with it. But let's move on to some transfer targets ahead of game week 5. Moving swiftly on, we move to the transfer targets section for this video. Now I've split it down into defenders, midfielders and forwards. And rather than just have a goalkeeper section, I have included them within the defence. You know, they get points very similarly. So starting off with the defenders, I've gone for Lewis Dunk, Sanchez and Cucurella as kind of my main transfer targets that I've gone for. The higher up they are, the better I kind of rank them, if that makes sense. So obviously Lewis Dunk and Sanchez above Cucurella. Brighton, like we said, been amazing. 10 unbeaten now, really good at the back as well. Only conceded 1 goal, and that was an own goal against Manchester United as well. So not actually conceded from like an opposing attacker or any opposing player, which is really good. The fixtures up till around game week 9 are amazing as well. Fulham, Leicester, Bournemouth and Crystal Palace. And then in game week 9 they're taking Liverpool. Not a concern for me, and I'm not a concern for a lot of people who will be wildcarding in game week 9. So a good stretch of fixtures for them there. Both Dunk and Sanchez are really good options. Both nailed. Dunk as well has that little bit of kind of attacking threat, but anyone within that Brighton kind of back line is very good for me. Veltman, that new left back they've signed as well, had really good underlying data. We went through him yesterday in my transfer targets video. Some really good stats that Brighton players are putting up. So I definitely think if you're on Joel Ward especially as well, Sanchez is the easy move. Just spend that extra 0.5 million for the next 4 to 5 fixtures and it will repay itself. Then we've gone for Cucurella. Now, Cucurella has been catching my eye over the past few weeks. I do have Reece James within my team, so I'm not going to look to do the Chelsea double up yet. But they do have some very good fixtures coming up. Southampton, West Ham, Fulham, Liverpool and Crystal Palace. But then kind of after that run, it continues. So I think if you aren't on a wild card, or you're potentially looking for people that you're going to be bringing in, I do think the double Chelsea defence potentially could be on, because they're the only players who seem to score for Chelsea is the defenders, and Cucurella, 2 assists so far, playing within that left wing-back role. I don't imagine that will be where he'll start all the time, but due to his versatility at left centre-back and left wing-back, if we can get into kind of one of the top defences or one of the top teams, obviously not been the best defence so far this year, but if we can get into that kind of team for around the 5 million, 5.1 million where he's at right now, and have that kind of attacking potential as well, could be a very, very nice double up, as Chelsea's fixtures are pretty much good till the World Cup after that. Moving on, let's talk about the midfield. Now, to start off with, we have gone for Jack Harrison. Really, really like Jack Harrison. Massively passes the eye test for me. Super low ownership as well at the moment. I think it's around 4%. Obviously, we mentioned Everton's kind of frailties at the start. They've not been impressing anyone, have they? Leeds, on the other hand, have been very, very impressive, looking to continue their strong start to the season. Obviously, the Brighton game didn't go to plan, but they've never won at the Amex, so I don't know what people were expecting. Brighton are a very good team as well, not one to be underestimated with. On free kicks, on set pieces as well, Jack Harrison, he's got himself really, really good stats as well. 1 goal and 3 assists. And definitely passing the eye test. Next player is Pascal Gross. Now this man, all the Brighton attacks are coming through this man. He is the danger man at the moment, and only at 5.7. He might have gone up overnight. 3 goals, 1 assist in 4 games. On free kicks as well, which is very, very tasty. And as we spoke about with Dunk and Sanchez, the fixtures are very, very good. So if you're looking to move Leon Bailey, who was benched today, or Pedro Neto on, who didn't have the worst game, but if you are looking to move them on for players with better fixtures, then I do believe Jack Harrison or Pascal Gross are the number, like, I put them level because they're both excellent options. Moving a little bit further down, we do have Rodrigo, kind of keeping with that Leeds midfield theme. I do think Rodrigo is another fantastic pick if you have him in your team. Very, very good to you. The most owned of that kind of Leeds midfield, with around 27-28% ownership now. Started the season very, very well. Obviously, the Brighton game, like I said, very much a blip. The major concern I have with him is how will he fit in when kind of Bamford comes back? Will his attacking returns keep up? Will they drop off? I really like Patrick Bamford as a player as well. I think he was brilliant kind of in the first few games and pre-season, the way he linked up the play, brought other players into the game. So I think it'll actually probably help Rodrigo and Harrison when Bamford is back. But I just fancy Jack Harrison that little bit more, but I wouldn't argue against you if you wanted to bring Rodrigo in. Moving on to our last 2 midfielders. Diaz, another player who I don't have in my team. A lot of people do. Been very, very kind of consistent for Liverpool over the past few game weeks. 3 goals, 27 points, and great fixtures till the game week 9 wildcard. So if you're looking to maybe move a Mount, a Saka, someone around that price point with good fixtures, then I think Luis Diaz could be the man for you. Next, and my final player is a big differential. It is Ilkay Gundogan, a player who has been catching my eye and quite impressive at the moment. Obviously dropped to the bench for the game against Crystal Palace, which was a little bit of a shock. But then if you looked at City's bench, there wasn't potentially any kind of other rotation options. Did come on and did get himself an assist as well in the process. Nottingham Forest up next. He was rested on Saturday, so you do expect him to start. I think he's gone up to 7.6, 7.7 million, but a real differential. I think the only problem with him is the fact that he plays for Manchester City. I love the positions he's getting into, the forward kind of just behind Erling Haaland. I think he's going to do very well this season, but it's having patience with kind of Pep Roulette and all that. And at 7-point-something million, can I be arsed when there's like nail players like Harrison and Gross and Rodrigo doing better? No, not really. That's why he's bottom of the list, but I do think he is a very good option. Moving on to the final kind of area that we're going to focus on within the transfer targets, and it is the forwards. Ivan Toney, I've been banging on about this man for a few weeks now. Second highest scoring forward within the game, 27 points, 2 goals, 2 assists. Super unlucky as well not to get a goal against Everton, hitting the woodwork. Good fixtures coming up for Ivan Toney and Brentford as well till around game week 9 when we're looking to potentially wildcard. Crystal Palace away, bit of a difficult one, that one, but with him being on penalties and kind of their danger man, their key man, I do expect Ivan Toney to at least get some chances within that game. Next is Harry Kane off the back of 2 goals against Nottingham Forest and a penalty miss. Yeah, that one's kind of helped me win something in a mini league, so very happy that he missed that penalty. But yeah, very good performance from Harry Kane. Looked to be a real threat. When kind of Pep's comments about Haaland potentially being a little bit of a rotation risk, maybe he's not going to play all the games. There's a lot of talk of potentially switching to Harry Kane. That move completely makes sense for me, but I don't think I'm going to do it. I'm keeping my eye on kind of how Haaland's minutes kind of play out, but I do believe he's potentially got that little bit more explosivity within his game. Like, he scored a 19-minute hat-trick, against Crystal Palace yesterday, so you know, making that switch to Kane, is it really going to be worth it? Like, Haaland's, yes, going to play less minutes than Kane. I guarantee that over the next few game weeks. But I think Haaland will still outscore Harry Kane. I think he's just that good of a footballer. And then moving on to kind of our final forward transfer target that I'd potentially suggest, and it is Mitrovic, who at the moment seems kind of fixture proof, which is just unbelievable. The fixtures aren't great for Mitrovic. Brighton, Tottenham and Chelsea in their next 3, so not something I'd want to do myself. I prefer a lot of kind of fixtures over form, but the man's just on fire. Most shots amongst all players in the Premier League with 19, 4 games, 4 goals, and missed a penalty in the process as well, so could have had 5 goals in 5 games. But yeah, I think when the fixtures turn after this next 3, I definitely think he'll be on a lot of people's shopping lists. Let me know, is there anyone I've missed out kind of on the transfer targets? Anyone that you're looking at, let me know down in the comments below. But let's move on to some captaincy options for game week 5. Are you unsure who to captain this week? Well, don't worry, because we're going to look at the best captains now within this preview. That intro, absolute diabolical. So yeah, I've selected 3 players who are potentially running through my mind at the moment: Salah, Haaland and Jesus. Salah is my current #1 captain that I'm potentially looking at. 11 games against Newcastle, 6 goals and 2 assists. Missed some huge opportunities against Bournemouth, and I saw a lot of people saying, "Oh, I think we can go without Salah this season." Yeah, like, the one where he kind of misses the open net, if he puts that in, everyone's giggling. No one's ever questioning not captaining him every single week. Newcastle haven't had the worst start to the season, but I do believe Liverpool at home is kind of a little bit of a formidable thing. I think Salah will be looking to bounce back as well, really show what he's made of. I think as well with FPL, you kind of have to not use your emotions with a lot of these decisions. We can get tied to certain players. I have in the past. We can look at certain outcomes that haven't gone our way and then kind of make that influence our future decision making. Just don't do it. Look at the stats. Kind of just focus on that. Look at the fixtures coming up. Newcastle at home. Projected points 7.3 for game week 5. Second highest kind of projected points on the list. But yeah, I think I'm going to lean towards Salah as my main captain for this game week. If I get wind that Haaland's going to play like the full game, then I would potentially be more considering him. And there's for good reason for that, because off the back of a hat-trick against Crystal Palace, playing against Forest, who do have one of the worst expected goals conceded, and watching that Spurs game, I saw a lot of gaps. City are going to absolutely run riot against Nottingham Forest at home. Haaland's been absolutely killing it. 6 goals, 1 assist, 41 points scored. Like I said, the big worry with him is kind of the minutes. But the fact that he scored a hat-trick within 19 minutes against Crystal Palace would suggest to me, even if he came off the bench, like, I think he'd still be able to get himself a goal. I think he's just that good a player. Projected points for this game week is 7.6, the highest of any player on the fantasy football kind of projected points list. So very good from him, and it's kind of between them two. I think Jesus is a nice option. Obviously, a lot of people got burned this week with Jesus, but I The only reason I've included Jesus is obviously his numbers aren't as good as Salah or Haaland. 2 goals, 3 assists. Only the 1 goal against Aston Villa in 7 games as well. But my big thing with him is this could be Gerrard's last game. If they get thumped, like, I think he'll be gone. I think the Villa fans will want him sacked. Arsenal have started the season so strong. So have that attacking lineup. And I just think, if Gerrard gets thumped, he's gone. And I think a lot of the players psychologically might be thinking that as well. You see it sometimes, teams down tools when they don't believe in the manager. They don't believe in the philosophy that's kind of being played out. They down tools, and then a new manager comes in, breathes a lot of life into the squad. So I do think that potentially could happen. They could just kind of maybe down tools against Arsenal. Not suggesting that will happen, but, you know, just a little thought there. Projected points for Gabriel Jesus as well is 4.8, so a lot lower than kind of Newcastle, Salah or Haaland. So yeah, I've just put Jesus in there as just a little bit of a thought one. I do think that Aston Villa could get absolutely walloped this week, but we'll see how that one goes. If you have a hunch on Jesus, I do suggest it, but my top target would be Mohamed Salah. If we get the nod from kind of Pep that Haaland's going to play, I'd be very kind of optimistic about captaining him against Nottingham Forest, who didn't look the best as well. So they were the captaincy options. Let me know down in the comments below if you're looking elsewhere for your captains. Obviously, there are a few players that I've missed. Kevin De Bruyne, another very good option. Kane, maybe against West Ham. I think they're slightly on the recovery now. I do think there are better options than Harry Kane, but just let me know down in the comments below if I've missed anyone that you're going to captain this game week. But let's move on to how my team's looking for game week 5. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. It is my team for game week 5. Very happy with kind of how it's shaping up at the moment. I will run you quickly through it. Danny Ward in goal, Trent, James, Dunk and Cancelo within the back line. A midfield three of Martinelli, Salah and Jack Harrison. And then a front three of Haaland, Jesus and Tony. Lot of good fixtures in there. A lot of good players within that team as well. The only issue that I am kind of not worried, but just disappointed with Danny Ward. Like, I know he's going to get another 1-pointer. Like, he's just inevitable at this point. It was a really silly decision to kind of go for the Leicester double up with the 2 goalkeepers. I should have just spent that extra 0.5 million on Sanchez. I'd have been a lot higher in rank. But we live and we learn. Danny Ward's just becoming a little bit of a meme, isn't he now? But I don't really want to waste a free transfer on him, so I'm just going to keep him there till probably the wild card. Leicester's fixtures do kind of improve slightly within the next few game weeks, so who knows? Maybe they might sack Brendan Rodgers as well, which will give them a boost, maybe. I don't know. Moving into the back line, Trent, amazing performance, 17-point performance after loads of people sold him. Don't sell Trent, don't be an idiot. James, very happy with his kind of attacking output. A little bit concerned about him playing at right centre back, but as soon as he switches that right wing back, goals. The Chelsea defence as well hasn't been amazing, but the next 3 fixtures, I do expect them to pick up more clean sheets. Southampton haven't been great themselves, so I do expect a clean sheet there from Reece James. Lewis Dunk, boom. Brought him in for Robbo, and I'm loving life with him the past 2 game weeks. He's got himself 13 points, picked up a bonus point as well. I expect Brighton and him to keep up their good defensive work. If he could get an attacking output, great. João Cancelo off the back of a 1-pointer, substituted quite early as well, which is a little bit of a concern, but not enough concern for me to sell him. So if you are looking at maybe selling Cancelo, don't bother. It'll just do what Trent did this week. Nottingham Forest as well. I think there'll be a lot of space for him to exploit in this game. Coming off in the 62nd minute as well does suggest to me that he's probably going to play the full 90 against them as well. Moving into the midfield, I've got Gabriel Martinelli, who I brought in this week for Saka, so that didn't go well, but very happy to hold him. Like I said, don't fancy Aston Villa this kind of midweek. Salah, probably going to be captain, maybe, as we went through in the last section. Obviously, the Bournemouth game wasn't amazing for him, but he will recover. Then Jack Harrison, who I've brought in this week. I transferred out Leon Bailey and brought in Jack Harrison. I think if you want to go Gross, Rodrigo, or Harrison this week, go for it. Everton look really bad at the back. Very poor going forward as well. And I really do fancy Jack Harrison at home. Yeah, let's go for it. Then to finish the front line, we've got Haaland, Jesus and Tony. Haaland, like we spoke about in the captaincy, three goals last week. Very happy with him and looking forward to seeing him against a kind of leaky Nottingham Forest side. Jesus as well, looking to recover after that 1 point. I think he will. Like I said, Villa, I don't fancy them this week. And then Ivan Toney to kind of finish that attacking lineup. Very happy that I've brought him in the team. Loving life with Ivan Toney. Can't wait to see what like the rest of the next few game weeks hold for me and him, because it's been a beautiful relationship so far. So thank you very much, Ivan. That just happened. Moving on to the bench, we've obviously got the second choice Leicester goalkeeper, Williams, Andreas and Neto. I'll probably put Neto first sub and then Andreas second. Neto looked alright, had a assist disallowed today because he pushed someone in the back, the silly idiot, but who knows, who cares. That's the way it will be, and that's kind of the way my Game Week 5 team is lining up. Let me know if you need any help with your Game Week 5 team down in the comments below. As always, I do answer every single question down in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching this Game Week 5 preview. It's taken me a long time to make this, so if you do enjoy this kind of content, please like, please comment, and please subscribe to the FPL Tom YouTube channel. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a good Game Week 5.